That breaking news from President Trump. He announced that he's going to sign an executive order to temporarily suspend immigration into the United States. Cecilia Vega is at the White House. And Cecilia, this came in one of those late night tweets, so not a lot of details yet beyond that headline.
Yeah, George, but we are hearing that this could be signed as early as today. But right now, a lot of questions about the logic behind this, since the U.S. already has more confirmed corona cases than any other country in the world. But in that overnight tweet, the president made it clear this is not just about keeping people who might have the virus out of the country. He says this is also about the, quote, the need to protect the jobs of our great American citizens. So since the outbreak, the White House has been using the virus to justify increased restrictions on immigration. They've basically been working up to this. A move like this, though, would be absolutely unprecedented and would essentially shut down the legal immigration system. Listen to this. Even during the 1918 flu, more than 100,000 immigrants legally came into this country. So it's unclear how exactly this would work, but it could impact hundreds of thousands of visa and green card holders planning to enter the country legally. We're talking about people who have family here already. And one thing is certain, this is definitely going to be challenged in court. Opponents are calling this xenophobic. But Robin, it is worth noting this morning that in New York City alone, more than half of the workers on the front lines right now are immigrants.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have to keep that in mind. But as you said, still so much is unclear. Thank you, Cecilia. Now to those state governors lifting certain restrictions, letting people back into restaurants, gyms, hair salons with social distancing rules in place. Whit Johnson is at Mount Sinai Hospital there in New York with the very latest on all that. Good morning, Whit.
Robin, good morning to you. New Yorkers will still have to wait to reopen despite the state reporting its lowest single-day death toll in 2 weeks. But across the country, some governors in other states making it clear they're ready to start lifting restrictions.
This morning, despite the widening pandemic, parts of the country are making plans to get back to work. In South Carolina, some retail businesses now open with social distancing limits.
We still encourage people to use curbside pickup and delivery and shipping so we can all stay home and get out of this sooner. We're excited about the future.
The state's governor announcing he'd allow public beaches to open back up today, but the city of Myrtle Beach defying that decision.
My biggest concerns would be that if we don't do everything possible to mitigate this virus now, that we could potentially hurt ourselves later in the summer, which is our peak tourism season.
In Colorado, where protesters faced off with people in scrubs in this viral moment, the governor planning to lift stay-at-home orders next week. Tennessee announcing the vast majority of businesses will reopen on May 1st. And in Georgia, where there have been nearly 20,000 cases of COVID-19 reported and nearly 800 deaths, Governor Brian Kemp declaring gyms, hair salons, and bowling alleys can reopen on Friday. He initially resisted calls to shut down.
By taking this measured action, we will get Georgians back to work safely.
Overnight, the mayor of Atlanta blasting the governor's decision.
I certainly cannot in good conscience say that I agree with his order, and I will continue to use my voice as mayor of Atlanta to ask people to continue to stay home, follow the science, and exercise common sense.
But in California, with more than 30,000 confirmed cases, Governor Gavin Newsom saying they're not seeing the downward trend needed to reopen.
Deaths continue to rise, hospitalization numbers modestly continue to rise, and ICU numbers beginning to flatten.
In hard-hit New York City, the mayor canceling all non-essential events through June, including iconic celebrations like the Puerto Rican Day Parade and the Pride March.
We have to be smart about it. We have to also recognize when thousands and thousands of people gather in one place, of course that goes against everything we're trying to do.
The numbers dropping, but the city still seeing more than 1,000 new cases per day.
So the volume is down.
For Dr. Matthew Bai, it's an emotional roller coaster. When we first met him almost a month ago, he described Mount Sinai, Queens as a hospital overwhelmed.
You can see all the rooms are filled. Usually these halls are very neat and empty. And now you can see there's patients everywhere.
Still in the fight, but now painting a more encouraging picture.
It's a big change from last week. No patients in this hall at all. It is a beautiful sight to see.
New York Governor Andrew Cuomo is calling on the federal government to help coordinate the supply chain needed to boost testing. He'll have the opportunity to voice his concerns face-to-face with President Trump when they meet at the White House today. Amy?
All right, Whit Johnson, thank you for the latest on that.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.